Hi everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips. And just a couple of quick announcements. Tonight, July 23rd, our own Chef Del, celebrity Chef Del, I always put that in there, is doing a conference call on quick and easy soups. Of course, you get the recipes for those, and then he'll talk about some other stuff too, food and cooking related, answer your questions and all that kind of thing. But he has some just delicious recipes for summertime. I know right here in Columbus it's about 100 degrees, and definitely I don't want the heavy chilies and that sort of thing. So you want to be on this call. And then, even though it's the middle of the summer, it is time to start getting registered for fall semester classes at the Wellness Farm Institute. You can take one class, you can take the whole semester's worth. We have the basic science courses if you're interested in a degree that qualifies you to practice nutrition, and we also have lots of diet and disease classes like nutrition and cancer, obesity, etc. So if you're interested in more information, let us know. Two topics to talk about that I've been talking about for a long time, and I guess I'm just going to keep harping on them until we get to the place where everybody has changed their ways a little bit. And the first one has to do with fish oil, and this study that I'm going to talk about got a lot of attention. I'm so glad to see this because so many doctors and health organizations are still recommending fish oil. Well, a recent study conducted at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center up in the, I think it's in Seattle, showed that not only does eating fish and taking fish oil pills increase the risk of developing prostate cancer, but it increases the risk that the prostate cancer will be of the aggressive variety that can kill you. And so the researchers analyzed data from the selenium and vitamin E cancer prevention trial, and they looked at blood levels of omega-3 fatty acids for 800 guys who got prostate cancer and then 1,400 guys who didn't get it. And the blood levels of those in the lowest risk group were 3.2%, and in the highest risk group, 5.7%. It's only a 2.5% difference, but that is about the equivalent of 2 servings of salmon a week, which certainly a lot of people I encounter are eating. Men who ate the most fatty fish and fish oil supplements had a 44% increase in risk for non-aggressive prostate cancer and a 71% greater risk for aggressive prostate cancer. Those numbers should be a little frightening. Now, the researchers commented that they weren't sure about the mechanism of action. It might be related to the oxidative stress that can be induced by consuming omega-3 fatty acids, but really there's a significant body of evidence that shows that high-fat diets and diets rich in animal protein, and fish, by the way, is animal protein. Remember, our definition here at the Wellness Forum is anything that comes from something that has a face or a mother. There's a big body of evidence that shows that the risks of many types of cancer are increased when you eat a lot of saturated fat and all types of fat and animal protein. So is this going to change anything? The American Heart Association, as of this morning, still had on their website recommendation to eat fish and take omega-3 fatty acids. I mean, this has just become an industry, this omega-3 fish oil type thing. So I don't think it's going to go away, so we're just going to have to keep talking about it until people stop using the stuff. And every day new members come in here, often taking fish oil pills upon the recommendation of a healthcare practitioner. So anyway, let's get rid of the fish oil pills once and for all. Not good for you. And fish is not a health food. I mean, it can be part of your 2 to 3 servings a week, but please don't take up fish eating because you think it's good for you. It's, again, has a face and a mother. All right. Been talking a lot about Alzheimer's disease, and I guess one of the reasons is every week there seems to be more research published about the connection between diet and Alzheimer's disease, rather than this, and it counteracts this whole idea that it's genetic predisposition and bad luck that cause you to become senile and develop dementia. A new study shows that modifications in the brain related to the development of Alzheimer's disease seem to be a combination of genetic predisposition and diet. In other words, we all have genetic predisposition for certain conditions, but we don't all develop disease. That's diet is the thing that determines that. Now, this study involved 20 older adults and who did not have cognitive impairment, and 27 who did. They were all 67 years old. And one group ate a diet that was comprised of 45% of calories from fat, that's a lot, and 25% from saturated fat with a high glycemic index. And the other group ate a lower fat diet, 25% of calories from fat, still too high, but only 7% saturated fat and a low glycemic index. And I'm not nuts about the glycemic index. That's a different topic for a different day. I'm just reporting what the study said. But the researchers then measured the amounts of the levels of certain types of beta amyloid in the cerebrospinal fluid. We know that plasma levels are high. That's common, but this was the first time that I've seen it measured in cerebrospinal fluid. Participants with mild cognitive impairment had higher beta amyloid levels, and in terms of the relationship to diet, those eating the lower saturated fat diet had lower levels of beta amyloid. Those eating the higher saturated fat diet had higher levels. So you see the connection between diet and Alzheimer's disease. And remember, this was a short-term study as opposed to looking at what happens if you eat a high saturated fat diet day, after week, after month, after year. I mean, people are literally eating their way into cognitive impairment every day. So it's true that some people are at higher risk genetically to develop Alzheimer's disease, but it doesn't mean they have to get it. And right along this line, while we're talking about Alzheimer's disease, this article was in the Columbus newspaper this morning, and it says, later retirement may stave off dementia. And it was based on some presentations that were made at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in Boston recently. And one of the things that they talked about at this conference is for every additional year of work that you do, the risk of getting dementia is reduced by 3.2%. And the whole theme is use it or lose it, which I've said before. You know, it's all about the diet, but it's also you got to keep your brain active and functioning. And so this picture, you probably can't see it too well, but this woman is 90 years old. She's been a receptionist for 8 years at this contracting company in Virginia, and she says, it's a joy to work, being with people and keeping up with current events. And then she says in the article she's really grateful that these people hired her when 8 years ago when she was 82 years old. Now, some of you might be thinking, I don't want to be working when I'm 90 years old. Well, maybe you don't want to be doing what you're doing right now when you're 90, but the point is you need to be doing something because we know that your brain will work better if you're using it every day. So very important to stay mentally engaged. And gosh, I know people who are 40 who aren't mentally engaged probably could take a lesson from keeping the brain active too. So anyway, it's all about the diet, folks. It's all about the diet. Change your diet, change your health outcomes, change your life. Things get better. That's all for now. Please pass this on to anybody who you think might enjoy watching it, and I'll be back to you on Thursday.